Welcome to Fat Mascara. It's Jen. Not it's Jen. I'm Jen.
It's Jen.
It's Jen.
Hey,
I'm going to talk in the third person from now on, everyone.
Yeah, that's a quick way to tank this show. You can just tell me you want to stop doing it. Okay, listen. I have just been told it's time to stop snacking. This is Jess. I was just enjoying some Trader Joe's.
And who told you? I like how passive you made that. Yeah, who told you to stop snacking?
I don't know how to talk anymore. I was just enjoying some Trader Joe's Ridge Cut potato chips with sea salt. It's a sturdy chip. It says great for dipping. And Jen did not think that these were an appropriate pod snack.
I mean, you guys tell me. I feel like it was a little bit crunchy and noisy in their ears as they've just tuned in to get all the beauty news and talk skincare and luxurious beauty and fragrance and makeup. And there's just Matlin like chipping away with her sturdy. It is a sturdy chip. It has a high crunch ASMR value, I would say.
It sounded like I was breaking down boxes.
It really did. So consider yourselves lucky that I got her to stop that before we started the show.
I'm hungry. All right.
Well, you can very much move away from the mic if you need to grab a chip while I
do
talk
in between
to you because I need to discuss something.
Okay,
you can do that. But can we discuss? Hi. Nice to see you.
Hi, thanks
here
for
on the
coming
show,
back.
everyone.
Thank you.
I have been having, as Jess would say, I've been having a little giggle about this thing that just sort of took over the interwebs in the past month or two. It's called skin cycling. I'm sure you guys are all beauty nerds and know about it, right? Mm-hmm. And I believe the original source of this trend was... If they don't, I will. Okay. Is Dr. Whitney Bowe, the dermatologist, who we've had her on the show. We've talked to her. She had a line we talked about recently. Anyway, she coined this term for basically, I'm going to really simplify it. If your skincare routine is like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever, the first day you exfoliate, that's your treatment that day. The second day you use retinoid. The third day you recover. The fourth day you recover, and then you start again. So you're cycling. So you're basically like your retinoid comes every fourth day. Your exfoliation comes every fourth day. And between those, you have this recovery. And I was just like, yeah, that's literally the advice we've been giving for years, right?
It's skincare.
And I realized it's skincare, but it all comes down to freaking messaging. And I was like, sometimes I feel like I'm too explicit with my skincare advice for people because, it's like, to me, it just makes sense. That's how you would do it. But the thing we said, we had we had like the round table of retinoids. The advice was 2 to 3 times a week. Every time we've had a derm on, as you're ramping up and trying a retinoid, start out 2 times a week, maybe 3 times a week. Some people, that's the most you'll ever do. Yeah. And then with exfoliation with peels, we talked about everybody who screwed up their skin barrier. That's because they were using them every day, when really, when you're exfoliating, you only want to do it maybe 2 to 3 times a week. Somehow, I think that's really clear, but it makes so much more sense. Because, which 2 days, which 3 days? What if somebody was going Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, retinoid, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, exfoliating peel? Like, I never thought to break it down more clearly than that. Did you when you would write about these things?
Well, I didn't have a name for it, but I would talk. I mean, my favorite tip that I ever remember is Josh, or one of my favorite tips is Josh Zeichner, the moisture sandwich, when he was like, moisture like a retinol sandwich. He was like, put on moisturizer and then a bit of retinol and then moisturizer on top. If you like can't,
but that's in one day, right? Yeah, right.
But like I think people need to like have things. Okay, for example, last night I was with my friend Rebecca, who I've mentioned on the show, and her friend Kelsey. I know Kelsey; she's just like Rebecca's friend, but I love Kelsey. Kelsey is a friend too, but she's Rebecca's friend. Okay, I don't know why I need to like break it down like that. So anyway, there we are. We went to a brewery, and somehow they're talking about skincare, and it's like so funny how like people talk about skincare in like conversations now. And I guess maybe it's because I was there, but we're talking about like retinol. Like retinol came up. Mm-hmm. Retinol came up and just like serums and stuff. And Kelsey's like, "Do I need a serum?" Sorry, Kelsey, I'm like outing you, but like, or does she need an oil? Some are talking about this, and then the order came up, and I'm thinking, why are we talking about the order? And then I explained, well, it's like you're making a bed. Your fitted sheet and then your top sheet and then the thickest thing on top, like the comforter. And then everyone's like, oh, that's like a great analogy. But they're like, oh, and I was explaining like an oil, even though it looks like a liquid, it's heavy. I'm like, so that's your comforter. It doesn't go on the bottom. And I was like doing those kind of baby analogies. I don't mean baby like, silly, but I just mean there's like very elementary things.
Right.
And minds were blown over beers, over like skincare. And I think people need these kind of
make your skincare bed.
Yes, but like people need this.
Just go make a TikTok with the skincare bed and it'll get as much play as skin
I might have to do it.
But you're right. It is, because even as you were speaking, I was just like, yes, that's very true, Jess. The oil would go last as your occlusive layer unless you're one of those people that uses an oil-based serum, like your serum is a natural serum with antioxidants and stuff, and that's an oil base.
That's for the comments.
That would be your serum step, and the moisturizer good. Correct. So you got to simplify. But this is why, like, I think people get messed up too, because they're just like, it's dependent on which products you have. Like, here's my picture of 6 products. What do I do with them? And also your skin type. But I like that she explained with the skin cycling that you have to give time to skin rest time in between the more powerful active treatments that you do, which is like, it's just sleep. A really clear way, calling it a recovery day. Like letting
gym.
In Jess Matlin's version, if you're making the skincare bed, maybe you also have a sleep day for your skin.
Let your skin sleep.
I don't know. Maybe I'm getting on.
I don't know, but like there's I think like these analogies are great. I'm not mad at it because I think like people need to understand.
No, me neither. I'm a little bit jealous because I feel like I try so hard in all of the articles I've written over the years and on the podcast to explain skincare. And then like sometimes it just takes like a simple little analogy like that. And it really clicks for a lot of people. And that's probably why it took off, because it like, oh, right, I want rest days. But in my head, I was like 2 to 3 times a week. Yeah, obviously the other 3 to 4 days or 5 to, 4 days, you're not putting it on. So
I
that
like
would be
skin schedule would be nice. Your skin schedule. I mean,
skin schedule. Well, anyway, people have really gotten into this because I've seen people putting their little calendars inside their medicine cabinet so they know, today the 30th day of the month or whatever it is, I'm on a rest day. Because it's not every Wednesday, obviously. Like one week it would be Wednesday that you do retinoid. The next week it's actually going to be, a day later or whatever. I'm not going to do the math.
I think people are looking for simplicity. It's so it's so confusing. Skincare has gotten so confusing. There's so many influencers. They all love something else every different day. They're all like, everything is you need like a freaking chemical engineering degree to like understand what's going on. If somebody can make it simple, tell me what to do this day. What am I doing Tuesday?
If nothing else, I'll make it super simple. Just use a moisturizer with SPF 30 at least, people.
That's what Rebecca said. Least. I know Rebecca's not a beauty editor. She was like, moisturizer, SPF, retinol, good night.
Yeah.
Get Rebecca on the pod.
That works too. And if you're coming to this podcast, obviously you want to get in the weeds with us. That's why we're here. But yeah, it's complicated. You can always DM us and email us, and you can call us. I haven't gotten any calls this week. I don't know what's happening, but I think like people are back in the swing of things with their jobs and whatever. But like usually I'm getting like voicemails all week long from our Razor Wand, and nobody called me this week. So call me, 646-481-8182. Honestly, leave a question there too, because I've gotten ideas for segments or things we've talked about in the news segment here on Wednesdays from you guys leaving suggestions. So even if it didn't make it onto the show, know that it is infiltrated into our brains and may trickle into the show at some point. We love that. We love hearing what you're thinking about, even if it's making your skincare bed. I don't know. On that note, it sounds like we're ending the show because that's usually what we talk about at the end of the show, but we're not. We're starting the show. You ready to do
Let's do the news.
Oh, she's eating a chip. That's why she didn't talk back to me. Yes, let's do the news.
All right. What you got?
Here we are. What I got. Lay it on you, everyone. By some confluence of events, like I haven't really led the news in quite some time. And I know this because there was like so much science news that I have in a backlog, but don't worry, I'm not putting it all on you at once. But since I haven't led the news in a while, I'm going to start with the science corner. Here it comes. The FDA just approved a new neuromodulator called Daxxify. So basically this is a tox that sort of semi-freezes your muscles so that your skin looks smoother, much like Dysport, Xeomin, and Botox. Different pharma companies do that. First of all, Daxxify, before I tell you guys what it is, because it is different and it is interesting and you will be seeing it in dermatologist's office soon. I just get this visual of like Daxxify is like when you're doxing someone, like when like a tech bro or like gamer person like doxes someone and like dumps all their stuff online and their address and people go to their house, right? Like, did they think about that when they named this one?
Weird. I was just picturing
Daxxify.
I was picturing a dermatologist who looked like Dax Shepard, but sure.
I hadn't thought of that one either.
That's the total. That's like that's literally what I picture. That's an image I kept to myself. But as you're talking about your association,
it changed. So maybe it's Dax Shepard doxing someone, aka you having fewer wrinkles in your forehead lines. Okay, here's what it is. Revance, the makers of the RHA collection of fillers, they have their first neuromodulator. Biggest difference between this and other, I'll just call them toxes on the market.
Okay.
Most last 3 to 6 months. I have gotten, over the years, I've gotten Dysport, Xeomin, and Botox. All 3 of those, I think, that last about 5 months on me. This one is approved for 6 months, but usually lasts 6 to 9, according to the doctors that test it. So whereas like another tox might last 3 to 6, this would last 6 to 9. Now, this might not affect you. Another difference, this is more for the injectors, is that it remains stable at room temperature. I believe, and I checked this too, the only other tox that does that is Xeomin. So like the doctor doesn't have to put it in a fridge. Doesn't mean much for you, but that and this new one, Daxxify, don't need to be stored in a fridge. I don't know if you're one of these fabulous people who has an injector come to their house with like a little black bag and inject them in person, that you might notice they're using Daxxify in the future because then they don't have to have like a refrigerated bag with them.
Okay.
Jess and I have talked to like high profile derms that travel with their needles and their injections, and they have to have like a cold bag for it, like with ice packs and stuff. So that won't be a thing either. And this is getting in the weeds, but the reason they don't have to do that is because this is delivered with a peptide rather than a protein. And that's how it gets into your nerves and causes that reaction that makes your skin look smoother. And on the protein note, for those of you who are vegan, some neuromodulators are produced with animal proteins or human-derived serum to stabilize them. So if that bothers you, either the animals, the humans, whatever, you may want to talk to your provider about Daxxify because it doesn't contain any animal byproducts. And one other thing, one of the studies I noticed, because the companies have to send them to the FDA to get their clinical, do their phase 3, 1, 2, 3 clinical trials, get it approved by the FDA. This one study had slightly more side effects like headache than with other neuromodulators. Mm-hmm. But that brings up the perfect point, which is all neuromodulators, all drugs have that effect that could have side effects. Talk to your doctor. I'm not a doctor, even though I play one on podcasts sometimes. I get nervous when I'm talking about drugs because I want to remind people they are drugs, and we always see what can happen, bad when you go to the wrong injector or you wasn't the right drug for you. So talk to your doctor. You'll probably start seeing this coming out in offices and the places where you get injected soon. Another thing, I'm like, there's a lot going on in the aesthetics world. Emsculpt, Jess?
Yeah, sure.
How many people, plastic surgeons talk about it on the show all the time. I think usually it's the plastic surgeons, but derms, my derm, she uses Emsculpt.
You can get it
BTL Aesthetics.
Gynecologist offices sometimes. It's
correct, because this is a device, Emsculpt, which isn't an injectable. It's not invasive. You strap it on. It's like doing a million sit-ups is how we beauty editors like to describe it. Can be toning. Well, now they have a facial device, M-Face, that just came out. And according to the company, it's an external device that uses a combo of muscle contraction and skin tissue heating. They call it high intensity focused electromagnetic technology to tighten the face. So in a press release, I know I need to take a breath. Hold on. In a press release, plastic surgeon Yael Halas said, M-Face will do for the face what Emsculpt did for the body. That makes sense to me.
Just like
Jess is giving herself a lifted
tighten,
look already.
Lift and tighten, firm up.
Yeah, let's just take our hands on our cheeks and just go, just push it up a little bit. Like that's what I want out of this. But you need a series of multiple treatments. I have not tried this yet. I haven't seen before and afters yet. So, keep your eyeballs on that one.
Interesting though, because I tried Emsculpt for the abdomen when it first came out, and I definitely noticed a difference for a little bit, but then, my stomach was tighter for, let's say, a few months, but then it softened. But that's nothing to do with the device. That's because I stopped working out. So it's definitely, it's like you have to, it's not a magic bullet. It's for people.
Works if you work it.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, it works. The program works if you work it. And it's the manufacturer and the people who I spoke to, and all the doctors I interviewed about Emsculpt, because I did a story on it for Bizarre years ago. It's like it's in tandem with a healthy, or I shouldn't even say healthy because it's like beyond healthy. It's with an active lifestyle. Like for me, I was gonna put it like the real. I felt like this was a device for people who are super into health and fitness. And at that point, for like a sliver of that year, I was like super into health and fitness. And then I was no longer as committed. So, I saw the effects of that. So with the face, I'm not suggesting that it doesn't work. I'm just wondering how it works with the face, because it's not like you're working out your face. I don't know.
Correct. And this could play into maybe facial exercise, which some estheticians really believe in. I actually have somebody coming on the show to talk about that at some point.
Very cool.
I had just one other thing about Emsculpt that I don't remember if I ever shared, that a derm I know who loves it, she explained that after about age, usually after menopause, but tends to start in your 50s, the reason women get pouchy in their belly, everybody thinks when you get older, you're just getting fatter. She said, it's not really that. It's, yes, a redistribution from, changing hormones, but you're shrinking. Picture your torso and your spine. By a certain decade of your life, it has shortened. And where does all that tissue and muscle and organs go? They're not leaving. They're getting shortened down. As your spine compresses, they puff out a little. So that's women get so hard on themselves for a poochy belly, and they're like, oh, because I had children, or oh, because I've let myself go. Ladies, you're shrinking. That's why your belly's sticking out. It's gravity. And so she was explaining that Emsculpt can kind of help with there's nothing you can do, because no matter how amount of exercise, there's it's a whole different body in there now. And she really noticed that she was getting poochier and started doing Emsculpt because it helps with her abdomen. So I don't know. That made me feel better about getting older and bodies changing. I don't know, because it's sort of out of your control and it's freaking gravity. Newton's the cause of your poochy belly. So chill. It's just what we look like,
Yeah.
Anyway, M-Face, it's coming out. Check it out. Okay, let's talk about water-based perfume. Have you heard, Jess?
I did hear about that this was coming out, but I have not seen it for myself. Keep going.
Okay, well, Dior just came out with a water-based perfume. It's a water-based version of their famous J'adore called Parfum d'Eau. Instead of l'eau, usually it's l'eau de parfum.
Yeah,
this is Parfum d'Eau, not l'eau, because it's actually made of water. I actually have a bottle of it right here. So the fragrance molecules and the floral essences that make the J'adore scent, instead of being in alcohol, as most perfumes are, they are suspended in water, which is pretty cool. They blend the perfume under an extremely high pressure to create a nano emulsion, so it stays together. So it's not you have to shake it, usually when you put something with water, it just sits there. This is its own scent. I used it. It definitely feels different on the skin. It doesn't have that flash off effect of alcohol where you're am I getting dry? You know what happens when you spray something on with alcohol? Mm-hmm. So it just feels like you're spraying on something slightly moisturizing, like a facial mist or whatever. And the scent, this is interesting to me. They obviously tweaked the scent a little. I'm not sure if they did that for marketing purposes because they wanted, the water vibe to come across, or for whatever reason, because they needed to because of the technology. Much lighter. And that's the thing about J'adore. It's one of those, it's a big bomb. It's a big bomb of a scent. It's one of those, you walk by that person on the street and you're like, oh, that's J'adore. Very floral, very orange blossom, heady sometimes. And this one is much lighter, I think.
Okay. I have to
cool.
try it.
You should try it. It just brought back memories of I don't know what year, but it's I want to say 20 years ago. I don't know when J'adore came out, but it's a moment. Okay. And so now they have it in a watery version. Yeah. And I think we'll be seeing more of these water-based fragrances coming out. Let's talk about celebrities, because how can we go through without? You have thoughts?
No, yeah, I'm just interested. The water-based thing. I do wonder, when people would say we do these stories about alcohol and fragrances drying out your hair, drying out your skin. I wonder what the net effect of that is really.
Yeah, if you're the crypt keeper, if you put on too much. Yeah, how dry is it actually going to make you?
Yeah,
right?
But I also understand the evolution of fragrance formulas will evolve, and And that's why I'm really curious to smell the Dior, because I'm like, is it going to be like a lighter scent? So I'd really like to smell it. And
not because of the water, but because they actually changed the scent. Yes.
Yeah, like, I guess it's just a nice lighter option. And it sounds really nice. Like, I want the watery one. That sounds delicious. But I wonder if brands will move towards like a lighter, like just an evolution of like the base. I don't know. I'm just
I know in the Cynic and he pictures like a marketing meeting, and they're like, okay, people want a lighter version of J'adore because it's so, floral and beautiful, but let's just do like a lighter version for like the Gen Z or whatever they came up with. And they were like, oh my God, I just heard about the water technology. Should we marry those two things together so that it's like both lighter as formula and lighter as fragrance? So it was like a nice, happy meeting there.
I don't know. I just think it's really interesting. And
I picture that.
I do think that you're right that we will see more watery fragrances. I'm curious, I think fragrance is evolving a lot. So I'd be curious to hear what a perfume
I also think there was a big cultural trend that happened in the last 2 years that got us all a little bit off alcohol, and that would be hand sanitizers. Like if you don't think alcohol is going to be drying, as we were all using, Purell in every store that we went in, like think about how dry our hands got. Now, obviously you don't put that much perfume on that you would like dry out your skin. But I think I got a little bit of a negative connotation with alcohol because that scent now reminds me of sanitizing. Mm-hmm. Like all the excuse my language, but like every store I go in has a big bottle of hand sanitizer there. So
it's like a psychological thing almost. You want more watery or moisturizing, hydrating things. So
it feels healthier than alcohol, which feels like hospital.
Yeah, it's cool. It's interesting. I can't wait to smell it. Okay. The next thing.
Celebrity. Shall we? Celebrities. Let's talk celebrities, because you and I have talked about this problem that beauty brands have. They tie themselves up with a celebrity spokesperson. Celebrity spokesperson like does something horrible or like he gets Me Too'd or like breaks up with the person that actually made them famous. And there you go. You have a problem with your marketing. Yeah. Well, it's not just actors, pop stars, and influencers. The interwebs does not seem to be happy with ColourPop because of a brand collaboration on Harry Potter. Why, you might wonder? Well, the creator J.K. Rowling has made transphobic remarks in the past. So the minute the ColourPop dropped, and I was like, all right, fine, Harry Pop, ColourPop. All sorts of creators and people online were like, oh no. Lily Teal, for example, she's a makeup artist with over 100,000 followers on TikTok. She's also trans, told beauty and fashion publication Glossy that she felt betrayed by ColourPop. She said it was like, she being linked to transphobia, it made her feel that their past support of the LGBTQ plus community was kind of just marketing. Like if you're going to support that community and then also do a Harry Potter line, that didn't sit right with her. So she's just one example of all the things I've been seeing online. People not happy with J.K. Rowling. I don't know. So be wary, you marketers, when you're picking your spokespeople and your collaborations.
Wow. There's like a million landmines to step in right now, but that seems like a pretty big one.
Pretty obvious one? Yeah. And also the beauty community, I find very welcoming to the LGBTQ plus community. Like, and that just feels weird. I don't know. Okay, and last one, because Jess loves when I end on a little bit of like neighborhood news or like a quirky something I found. I'm a tad bit late, but I've been holding this because I thought it was cool. The Miss England beauty pageant. Now, the finals of the pageant will be in October 16th and 17th, but the semifinals were in August for Miss England. And one of the people that made the finals was Melissa Ralph, a political science student. I think she's 20. She competed for the whole pageant without makeup. So she was the first person to, well, she hasn't won yet because she only got her spot as final, but she moved on from the semifinals.
No, I'm serious. I'm not being funny. Like, I feel like there are probably like rules in a lot of these pageants.
It probably depends on the pageant, because I know all of these pageants build themselves differently, and some of them it's all about like the makeup.
Yeah.
But brings up a lot of things, which is, A, why do we do beauty pageants? And if they're beauty pageants, you really want to level the playing field on beauty? If we're just going to talk about beauty, like take off your makeup. Now let's do the beauty pageant and see how we do, right? Like,
was it called?
This is putting aside all the questionable.
You're calling it a beauty pageant, but like, if it's just called Miss England,
no, they don't call it a beauty pageant. Yeah, of course, because they take into account,
service,
everything that she's done academically, her service, etc. But that's only modern era that those things have changed. When these things first happened, like, back in like Atlantic City in the 1920s, they were beauty pageants. And like we try and pretend that they're not.
I was about to say,
but like
you said first happened. Yes, I get it. You said 1920s Atlantic City. But I was thinking like, you mean like 1999
Miss America, sorry.
to 2013. Yeah. Good for her.
Oh, no. Over 100 years ago when this.
I know.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool. And so she is going to be competing in the finals without makeup as well, because she said, quote, "I want to inspire other women and young girls to showcase their inherent beauty."
I love that.
One more thing I should note, because I'm sure all of our English listeners are going to point this out. This particular pageant also has something called a bare face round, which these pageants are so interesting to me. Just
offensive.
Like
go on.
The culture surrounding them, different countries. Because even when I was at Mary Claire, like Southeast Asia has this huge pageant culture, and there's so many different pageants. There's like the singing, there's the lip singing, Anyway, so this pageant has a bareface round, and Melissa had formerly competed in that. Like it's just for when it's only one special little sub pageant for like no makeup pageant, which I thought was cool. So obviously that's where she got the idea for this. And have been people competing in that in the past, but this is the first time in the traditional regular Miss England pageant in its 94-year history that someone moved on without wearing makeup. So
I
tune in on October. I don't even know if you can tune in.
This.
Is it streaming? I don't know.
Wow. I mean, this is just so big.
You're speechless?
A little bit. I mean, because it's just so crazy to think like we've never, like that this is such a like revolutionary move to not wear makeup. But it's also like, if she wore something else, like it's like this is part of it's just part of the pageantry, no pun intended, it's like the pomp and ceremony of it. So it's part of it. But it's just so crazy that we can't like extract it from it.
I know. Well, then I also was like, I got to get deep into the history of pageants, because I'm sure in like the Middle Ages and in ancient China and, wherever, there were definitely like contests, I imagine. Maybe there weren't among like, let's line up all the ladies in the village and see who's the best. Sounds horrible.
Yeah, I know. I'm just thinking, I'm picturing myself, like I'm putting myself, and listen, if anyone listen, I'm sure there's somebody who's listening who has been part of pageants and is like, it's great and it's fun and you're taking too seriously or whatever.
Yeah, no, I'm not dissing it. I actually think culturally it's super interesting. Yeah.
I just can't picture, I think maybe I don't have a thick enough skin. Like I can't picture myself being like, and now Miss Matlin, and walking down a thing, and maybe the speaking part. I know, I don't think I can handle the rejection. I don't know. The swimsuit. Oh my God, the swimsuit. I admire.
I don't even know. I don't even think they do that anymore. Do they? We need to. Oh my God, we need to get on a guest that has like a pageant coach or something.
Oh, totes.
To really explain it to us.
When they have kids in it, I get really upset.
Meanwhile, you guys are out there, and I'm sure you're like, how do you guys not know about this? It just wasn't part of my upbringing, and I know in a lot of cultures it really is. So I'm going to do some homework and see if we can learn something all together. This could be really,
Jen.
This could be
get
enlightening.
on it.
I will. Until then, Melissa, good luck to you. October 16th and 17th when you compete for Miss England with no makeup on.
I hope she wins. I hope she wins. And please, if you're part of the pageant world, please school me on it. I know I wouldn't win and I'd go home and cry.
The end.
All right.
You all know this, but there's no one-size-fits-all solution when it comes to hair care. A product that's great for curls might make straight hair limp or greasy. Or my personal issue, I know you've heard about this, having two heads of hair on one head. My hair is long, so the roots get weighted down and can look flat, but then the ends are all wavy and frizzy. But thanks to my personalized Prose routine, I now have custom shampoo and conditioner, and I've never been happier. And guess what? Prose is now a Fat Mascara sponsor, and they're going to give you a discount. So Prose makes custom hair care that's effective because it's personal. Using ingredients with proven results, Prose customizes every product in your routine from shampoo to supplements. First, Prose starts by asking questions of you as a person with their in-depth consultation. And you know we love a quiz here at Fat Mascara. So they asked me lots of unexpected things, including my zip code. Apparently, it turns out Brooklyn here in New York City is a very frizz-prone area. So they work in the fact that it's humid to my formulas. They analyze all the answers, determine what blend of ingredients works best for you, and then they send you your products. I've been using the custom shampoo and conditioner. They actually have fermented rice water in my formula, which is a great shine enhancer. And if you listen to this podcast, you'll remember that is not an ingredient that you want to try and make at home. I also chose the scent Oasis, which is lovely fruity floral. But if you're not into that, you can do fragrance-free if you like. Plus, Jess and I love that Prose is carbon neutral and a certified B Corp. Best of all, if you're not 100% positive Prose is the best hair care you've ever tried, they'll take back the products, no questions asked. Prose is the healthy hair regimen with your name all over it. Take your free, in-depth hair consultation and get 15% off your first order today. Go to prose.com/mascara. That's prose.com, prose.com/mascara for your free in-depth hair consultation and 15% off.
Okay, it's time to raise a wand. Right now, we've got a recommendation from Stephanie from Boston.
Hi, Jess and Jen. This is Stephanie from Boston, and I'm calling with a raise a wand that I'll admit into buying after hearing Hailey Bieber on another beauty podcast doing her rounds for, launching her new skincare line, and she had mentioned that a product that had really changed her skin was the Paula's Choice 20% niacinamide serum. And I had been having a lot of issues with texture and bumps, and I didn't really know or think that niacinamide was an exfoliating product, so I wondered how it could help your texture, but I tried it nonetheless. I've been using it for about a month, and I can't believe the results. Truly, I'm blown away, maybe more than any skincare product I've tried in the past. My skin is so smooth. I had these persistent bumpy, I could feel them when I washed my face, and now it's so smooth and they're gone, and I really think it was because of this serum. So 20% niacinamide serum from Paula's Choice. Thank you, Hailey Bieber. Thanks, Jess and Jen, for an awesome podcast, and hope to talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Stephanie. Listen, girl, I don't mind if you heard about it on another podcast. We're all friends. Beauty podcast, get your knowledge, share it. That's what it's all about anyway. We're not proprietary over these things. Is that the right word? Proprietary? Anyway, I asked for your homework was dark spot correctors. This one helps with texture, so we're close. But dark spot correctors aren't fun, so I'm changing the homework. Let's talk about fall fragrance. What are you going to be burning in your home for fall? What candle? And what fragrance is going to take you into the fall weather? I know we have a lot of listeners in Indonesia, South Korea, Australia, New Zealand, and I understand that it is not fall there. I do get that, people. But you know what I mean. A comforting, cozy fragrance is what I want to hear about from you, and then we can share it with the Fat Mascara fam. Yeah, email us your voice recording, info@fatmascara.com, or call us 646-481-8182. Now, Miss Jessica Matlin will be raising her wand.
Oh my God, when you say my first and last name, I'm like, what did I do? Okay. I am raising a wand to a comforting face mask. I love a face mask. I love a face mask that I can leave on forever and not have to worry about until I feel like taking it off. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, let's not have this be the pH acid one that has to be removed in 8 minutes or else my face falls off. Yes.
Yes.
Totally know what you mean.
Or one that I can't
What if you get sidetracked? You really get into your show and you don't want to go back to the sink?
Yes, exactly. Or you get a phone call or whatever. And I don't like a face mask that's going to scare my husband or my child, or a Zoom.
Okay.
One that I can do a multitask. Have I got the face mask for you? And I'm glad that I was reminded of it. I saw my dear friend, Francesco Clark. He is the founder of Clark's Botanicals, which is a beautiful line, which just P.S., I remember when it came out, I was working at Space NK, this is a million years ago. And, when I remember a brand from Space NK, that means it's good. There were a million brands at Space NK, small ones, big ones, etc. But there are a few that I just were kind of they're brands that are close to my heart. You know what I mean? That were there. And this is one of those heart brands. And seeing how it has evolved and everything is just like very special to me. So anyway, this brand has so many goodies, but the deep moisture mask is really beautiful. It has jasmine extract in it. And if you like jasmine, like we've talked about jasmine a lot on this show. Sometimes there's good just smelling jasmine, and sometimes there's bad smelling jasmine. This is the good smelling jasmine. And it has it's jasmine green tea. Excuse me, I just checked. So it smells fresh and lovely. It's very it's very creamy and it's light, and you can put it on and it's translucent. It's not like a pack mask.
Oh.
And it reduces redness. It calms. You can put it on heavy if you want, and it'll be like kind of a like a sleepover party mask, or you can put it on light, which is like what I do, and I just leave it on, and you can even go to sleep with it. So it doesn't say that on the back, but
so do you rinse it off?
No, I just leave it on. Like I'll put it on overnight, and I just like leave it on in the morning. I'll put it on, or I'll use it as a moisturizer. I kind of do my own thing with it, and that's why I'm just telling you. You can do that too, because it's like for sensitive skin, so it's not going to mess you up.
Right. And this goes back to what we originally spoke about at the top of the show about skincare being confusing. If I showed that to my mother, she would be like, why isn't that a moisturizer? That's just a moisturizer. Why are we calling that a mask? You just rubbed a cream on your face. And I get the distinction because this is what I do for a living. Yeah. Like you're paying more because you're getting a huge dose of those hydrators. You're getting jasmine. Like some people it could be too rich.
Yeah. It says like you can put on a thin layer in a moisturizer or like put it on for X amount as a mask. I'm just telling you how I like to use it, and you can do you. But I guess what I'm saying to you is like there's a flexibility to it, which is what I like for a more premium product, and which is what I like for my busy lifestyle, which I'm sure many of you have busy lifestyles as well. You get what I'm saying?
I didn't mean to giggle about your busy lifestyle, but it got, I don't know why that made me laugh. I'm just being real. QVC with Vanessa Bayer in that show that I told you have to watch.
Oh, it's on my winter list. It's on my winter list. But you guys get what I'm saying, right? Okay. We don't have time for like, of course, science experiments. You know what I'm saying? All right, what's going on with you?
Over here at the Goldstein Sullivan household, we are also doing a skin serum. Here's the thing. This is called Daxxify, this brand. It's a UK-based brand. They're Stellar Daily Serum. It's $70. I'm going to tell you, I don't like to call things a dupe, but this is a little dupey for something that costs like more than twice as much. I love Vintner's Daughter, which is $195. And I can't even tell you how much joy that product brings to the Sullivan household. I do like 2 drops on my hands, and I make Eric breathe it in at night, and then I like massage it into his cheeks and fart. He's obsessed with it.
Wait, you have like a sensual Vintner's Daughter moment with Eric?
Not every night, but like I keep my skincare at my nighttime bed. And if he sees me doing like trying a new product or putting on moisturizer or whatever, like looks over, I know what he wants. He wants the Vintners. Like it's the good. I think he just likes the scent. And also who doesn't want to get their face like, nicely. Yeah, it's top shelf. Well, so Daxxify, Vintners has got like 22 botanicals. It's an active serum, but based with like natural botanicals. This is the same thing, fewer botanicals. But I really think it does very much a similar thing for my skin. And I think it's the prickly pear seed oil, which is such a good oil, and also the rose hip oil, which can be very brightening. Rose hips are not rose essential oil people. Rose hips are very different, high in antioxidants, very brightening. And then the scent is the thing with Vintners because it's this gorgeous scent. Now, Eric admits this is not quite the same scent, but it has bergamot, clary sage, and frankincense. And I think frankincense is the key in both the scent of this one and also the scent of Vintners. It gives it like this freaking luxity. Luxity isn't even a word, but I know frankincense essential oil also has some skincare properties, but for me, it just says money. Like, here comes the money. You know what I mean?
Says money.
And it's gorgeous. It's a gorgeous botanical serum. And so if you've always wanted to try the other one that I mentioned, this might be a nice way into that botanical serum world. And back to Jess's skincare bed, this would go on, if you're doing a serum, like another serum, this would go on after that serum, but before any moisture pack or cream that you want to put after it, because it is an active serum, even though it's in an oil format.
A mask pack. It's like 1952.
I mean, drink every time I say oil serum masker pack. Like, I don't know.
It's a fat mascara drinking
kind of
game.
episode. Can you tell sometimes fall and Jen and Jess are getting dry again? Can you tell? No, we're not going to do that this year. Okay, that was an excellent episode. Let's go to bed.
Yes.
Let's get our beauty sleep. Let's all meet back
I have
here.
a razor wand for the bedroom. Razor wand for the bedroom coming up in the next couple of weeks. Okay, stay tuned.
Okay, we'll do. And we'll see you and we'll hear you and we'll be in your ears on Friday.
We hope you enjoyed the show.
It's your reviews and feedback that help us make the podcast even better. Head over to iTunes to rate and review us or email your thoughts to info@fatmascara.com.
We also want to answer your beauty questions and hear what products you love. To share a Razor Wand product review or to ask a beauty question, email us at info@fatmascara.
If you send it as a voice memo file, we can even share your voice on the podcast. You can also do that by leaving us a voice message. Our phone number in the United States is 646-481-8182.
Thanks so much for listening.